Welcome to the video lesson 5. A tiger comes to town. Part 1. This lesson is in 2 parts. This video has part 1. This is a story about a circus tiger and is covered over in 2 lessons. The story is told in first person. The tiger is the narrator. In the first part, we are told about a tiger who comes out of the circus tent and roams the street of the city. We all know that the natural home of a tiger is in forest. Other than that, we can see a tiger in a zoo or a circus. But these are not natural homes for them. In a circus, the tiger is tamed and trained by his master. So he obeys his instructions and performs accordingly. This is a story about a circus tiger. One day, he finds the circus gate open. So he comes out in the open and starts strolling in the streets of the city. His first encounter is in the market road. The moment he steps on the road, he finds people run for their lives at the sight of a tiger. As he moves on, he found people pulling their shutters down. Some people hide in drains or climb trees or even behind pillars. Gradually, he felt that the population was melting, which means people were disappearing from the scene, leaving the streets barren. The tiger says, "At the circus, I had no chance to study human beings. By this, he meant that his opinion about human beings after seeing them seated in a circus was a false one. So his study was not authentic. At the circus, the audience had sat peacefully. But now they were ruffled and fearful. This behavior was in sharp contrast to what he was witnessing now. Whilst the people sat peacefully, the tiger covered before his captain's whip. Now even his own behavior was different. Whereas he lived in fear of his master in the circus, he was walking quite fearlessly now. The same people who he thought were fearless were now running. Away from him like a herd of deer. Even though he meant no harm to them. He had no intention of attacking them. He stopped in front of a tailor's shop to see what he was doing. But the minute the tailor saw the tiger, he left his machine and hid himself inside a cupboard railing. Alas, I am undone. Won't someone shoot the tiger? The tiger wondered why he wanted to have him shot when he had not done anything. The next scene was even more hilarious. He saw two constables escorting a prisoner in handcuffs. When they saw a tiger, the constables ran for their life, leaving the prisoners alone. That gave the prisoner a chance to run away. The question is, the constable who are expected to safeguard the lives of the public had no courage to face the tiger. And instead of facing him, they ran for their lives and forgot all about their duty to take the prisoners to the prison house. Yet another comical scene described by the tiger was about a horse-driven carriage in which some passengers were travelling. The moment the horse saw the tiger, it broke its reins and ran away. The passengers spilled out like beans and started running for their lives. The tiger felt that his presence literally froze life of the townspeople. There was an air of hopelessness. Though people had withdrawn into their homes, they were still feeling nervous. They had shut all windows and doors and ensured that they were bolted and sealed properly. The tiger takes a dig at the cowardly behavior of people by saying they were behaving as though they thought the tiger was some extraordinary creature with extraordinary powers who could perhaps walk through the walls and wait either at the roof or in the basement, waiting for an opportunity to attack them. He wonders why people should harbor such thoughts when he had no interest in them. He had no intentions to attack or to safeguard them. The author makes the tiger raise questions and make statements which we humans should be asking ourselves or telling ourselves. We all know that saving the tiger has become a global issue. Saving the tiger is crucial for retaining biodiversity on our planet Earth. For that matter, all wildlife is crucial for the health of the planet Earth, and therefore it is important to educate people and sensitize them to the need for all of us to live in harmony with nature. The tiger continued its walk along the city road. The next stop he had was at the door of a restaurant, where he sat down to have some rest. Now, if one were to measure a tiger's length from head to tail, it would measure around 11 feet. Is it tiger's fault if he is so long? Well, when the tiger sat before the door, he had almost blocked the entire passage. Well, when the tiger sat before the door, he had almost blocked the entire passage. His tail reached out the street. How did the people react on seeing this? The coffee drinkers and tiffin eaters sat frozen in their seats and forgot all about drinking their coffee or eating food. They were uttering low moans. The cashier held the cash box close to his bosom out of fear. This behavior was utterly cowardly. If they could read the tiger's mind, they would have known that the tiger just wanted to sit and watch. He wanted to tell them to continue drinking their coffees and eat their food. The cashier need not have stopped counting his cash. He could have carried on undisturbed. How else could the tiger assure them that he meant no harm? He was not out to kill. He had found a green pasture full of food and had eaten his full meal. He was not hungry. In fact, he would not need to eat for a few days. He wanted to tell them that he would not attack anyone unless he was hungry and food availability was not there. He was not like human beings who kill each other without provocation, purpose, or hunger. Here, the author takes another dig at the human race in the grab of a tiger. he raises an important point about the unreasonable and selfish behavior of human beings. Despite having intellect, they fail to act wisely. In sharp contrast to this, animals were better off in their character. They never do anything aggressive unless provoked or feel endangered. Sometimes they may attack in self-defense. Moving on with the story and following the tiger's trail, let us see what he does next and where does he go. The tiger's next destination was a school. Seeing the gates open, he entered the school premises. Seeing a tiger in the school, one could see a mixed feeling of excitement and fear amongst the children. They ran here and there in great delight. The elders were trying to close the school in hurry so as to get the children to a safe place. The children were shouting in delight. No school, no school, a tiger, a tiger. The tiger followed them as they laughed and ran. The tiger could sense that the children even enjoyed being scared. Such was general feeling. Now, did you notice how the reaction of children was different from that of adults? The tiger followed them through the school gate while they ran up and shut themselves up in a hall. The tiger followed them up the stairs. Then he saw an open door at the far end of the veranda and walked in. This room happened to be the headmaster's room. As soon as the headmaster saw a tiger in his room, he jumped over the table, and from the table he heaved himself up on the attic. The tiger, who was looking for a cool place to rest, found the stone flooring idle for his sleep. He lay down with his head under the table and went to sleep. The tiger says, I was in no mood to bother about anything. All I wanted was a little moment of sleep. Whilst he went off to sleep, someone locked the door and kept a full guard on his movement. After some time, when he woke up, he heard a teacher say, now that this brute is safely locked up, we must decide. What do you think they were planning? What decision were they to take? And did you mark the word brute? Now, brute is a rude word to be used for an animal who is behaving in a perfect gentlemanly behavior. And tiger are known to be gentle if not provoked. But it is the baser instinct of man who tends to treat all animals with a certain fear, as he cannot understand them or their nature. As the teacher stood outside the door discussing what to do, the tiger's master pushed his way through the crowd. After noticing that the tiger had gone out of his lockup at the circus, he must have been trying to look for him. His search brought him to school. On reaching the room where the staff had gathered and using all sorts of words for the tiger, he got angry and scolded them for using the words beast and brute. These were ugly words coined by man. In his arrogance and ignorance, human beings who tend to think they are superior to all living creatures and who are endowed with superior intellect actually are an insult to their own intelligence and wisdom, because they are ill informed about animal behavior. So, they tend to treat all animals alike. The teachers, who were unable to decide what next to do, did not like to hear anyone preaching them about the rightness or wrongness about the use of words like beast and brute. They retorted sharply to the master's advice and asked, "Is this the time to discuss problems of vocabulary?" They were looking for a clear course of action and not advice or scolding. The tiger heard his master's reply angrily. Why not? The teachers got even more angry with him and commented, "What a reckless man you are! Who are you?" They actually did not know who this stranger was. They did not know that he was the circus master and that the tiger belonged to him. They thought he was some ordinary stranger who had walked in looking at the shows. To this comment that he was a reckless man and to the question, "Who are you?" he simply said, "That is a profound question. I have no idea who I am. All my life, I have been trying to find an answer." Are you sure you know who are you? Are you sure you know who you are? The teachers did not know what to say to this. They were confused. The master had said something which was loaded with meaning. The word profound means deep, thoughtful, and reflective. The circus master shows superior intellect and wisdom here. The answer was rather philosophical. His statement could not be taken at its surface value. One had to read between the lines and interpret the meaning. He was trying to tell them that we humans have a wrong notion about ourselves. We are actually not what we think ourselves to be. A little learning does not make us true human, or just because we are born superior to the other animals does not really give us the right to behave the way we want to. We have a shallow understanding of ourselves and life around us. Please read this lesson again and try to analyze the finer points that the author desires to tell us through the tiger's experience. I hope you all have enjoyed this story. You must do self-study and practice. Write this story in English. Thank you.